Spazie, champion guides.
Hello, you two. Spazie coming right at you, and Planty, obviously. Today it's time to take a look at Jax, the Grandmaster at Arms. I've just woken up, so my voice is a bit. I'm gonna try and use it to my advantage, though. Maybe do extra much trailer guy voice. That probably doesn't help it, though. Either way, Jax. He actually got changed a lot. I don't really... I mean, he's okay. I like what they've done to him in one way, but in the other way I just miss the old Jax, you know? But he's actually alright in the jungle, and that's what this guy is going to be about, how to play Jax in the jungle. So I hope you enjoy. Let's dive into those abilities. Starting off with that passive called Relentless Assault. Every time Jax attacks an enemy, he gains 4 to 9% increased attack speed. This buff stacks up to 6 times. Basically, if you played Jax in the old days, this will allow you to get the attack speed effect that you got from his ultimate at level 6 right at level 1, which also means that he is viable in the jungle at level 1. But this new change also means that he's a lot less durable naturally, due to the fact that you don't get health from ability power and attack damage anymore. Let's take a look at that Q. Leap Strike. Jax leaps towards the target. If it's an enemy, he hits the enemy for 70 to 230 magic damage. This ability scales off AP and AD. I believe a bit more off AD than AP, and it's usable on all targets, whether it be enemy or friendly minion, wards, allies, you name it, he leaps on it. His W is called Empower. Jax charges his weapon with energy, causing his next attack to deal an additional 40 to 220 magic damage, and this resets the attack animation. Now you can activate this to deal damage on top of the Leap Strike, which means that your Leap Strike will deal more damage, but you generally shouldn't, and I'll explain why later in the video. Now here's one of the big changes to Jax, his counter strike, his E. Jax dodges all incoming basic attacks for 1.5 seconds. At the end of the effect, Jax deals 40 to 160 physical damage and stuns nearby enemies for 1 second. This spell deals an additional 10 to 30 damage for each attack dodge. Now this is the new ability that came with the removal of dodge from the game. Now I actually like the mechanics about this. I like how it synergizes with your Q and that you have to time it for 1.5 seconds there to get the stun off when you leap in. We'll talk a bit more about that later. But here is also where I miss the old Jax, because I just loved ranking up that E. But anyway, it's still a good ability. And now, the ultimate, Grandmaster's Might. Now, the feel of this ultimate is actually the same, like hit, hit, bam, hit, bam, hit, pwn your face. But after the patch it's a lot different in terms of stats, so let's take a look at that. Passively, every third consecutive attack from Jax deals an additional 100 to 220 magic damage. The active, however, does now boost your ability power and attack damage for 6 seconds by 25 to 65, and it scales 20% off your AP and 20% off your bonus attack damage. As I'm making this video though, Riot seems to be going through this ultimate and looking at how they can switch it up to enhance Jax's late game durability, which is basically what he lacks at the moment. So if you're watching this video post Sejuani patch at any point, make sure you check this ultimate out as it might have gotten changed. And this is how I level the skills when jungling on Jax. At level 1 I start off with Counter Strike, I then grab a level in W, and then at level 3 I grab the Q. After that I prioritize to max my Leap Strike in order to jump more than once in one gank. I then max my W for damage, and I'll leave E for last. Leveling E doesn't increase the stun duration, so there's no real reason in grabbing any levels in it when ganking on Jax. You want to max your W for more damage since it does more damage as an ability itself, but it also resets your attack timer, which means that your ultimate will proc more often, and if you have the red buff you can keep that on the opponent. I know it's weird, but I always grab the ultimate whenever it's up. Taking a little sneaky peek at those masteries, I go for armor seals and magic resist per level glyphs. This helps me in jungle with the armor, and a bit for late game survivability with the magic resist. And then I'm just rocking the standard physical damage flat quints and marks for some good jungle damage and some nice clearing, and also the overall damage output. Then you can see a standard offense 21-9-0 jungling build and the masteries here. I go for the bladed armor in defense there. I'm so sick of this voice! Alright, I go for the bladed armor in defense and improve smite, and then all the way to executioner in offense.
Items, reveal yourselves.
With Jax I always start off with a Vampiric Scepter, and I request a good pull at the wolves before I go for the blue. Now show me a bit of multitasking observational skills here, guys, as I'm gonna show my standard jungling route while discussing these items. I can also recommend you guys watching my full commentary on my latest Jax gameplay, where I discuss more in depth of how I jungle with him. I'll post a link to that in the description below, or you can just click this. Either way, I build up a Rigor's Lantern as soon as I can, together with boots that I either upgrade to Merc Treads or them Ninja Tabbies. Currently, I do really feel that Jax lacks the survivability to be efficient in team fights, and thus I go for a Frozen Mallet usually, maybe even an Atmas after that, but there are several good items that really makes him excels in his abilities and his way to deal damage. Some of those items includes Ginzu's Rage Blade, Trinity Force, and that awesome Hextech Gunblade. Now before the change of his passive, you could actually invest in just all these items and get survivability naturally from the AP and AD that they give you. But right now, I personally just don't think that is as viable. And depending on what you got on your enemy team, some defensive items that are useful includes Guardian Angel, Force of Nature, and if you want to make the AD carry suffer, the Frozen Heart. As a jungler, you're mobile around the map and you shoot by wards and place them. Especially as Jax, you can also place them to leap strike upon, which is always very useful for utility. Now that's all I'm gonna discuss in terms of items here, but I know since Jax is a hybrid, there are tons of other, probably as viable options for you out there. But these are just some of the general ones that I've now included for you to start experience with before you get a feel for the character. And then after a couple of games you could start developing your own playstyle build, depending on what the enemy has, but more importantly, like I said, your playstyle. Feel free to let me know in the comments below how you enjoy to build Jax. Let's look at some footage, shall we? As a Jax in the jungle, you are going to be ganking a lot of the times. Now, go figure, huh? A lot of it is just all about knowing how to combine your E with your Q. Your dodge block thingy stun with your jump. It takes 1.5 seconds from the time you press the button for the stun to actually land. You can either walk up to the opponent like I'm doing here, and then use the Q to last hit, or you can actually activate the ability first and then jump. Make sure though that you jump in time. Here I go for gank on Kog'Maw. I activate the E way too early, as you can see, not landing the stun. Luckily though, I use my W to keep that red buff proc on him, and since I'm tanking a lot of the turret damage and barely making it out alive, Mundo can just do what he does best and goes where he pleases and just, I don't know, was that Mundo? Probably wasn't. And pick up that kill. The best part of walking up to a target is that you will have your Q to catch up to them. For instance, if Tristana rocket jumps, you can catch up to her again. Here I'm using my Q to burst her down. I think I will be able to, but unfortunately I won't kill her because she uses rocket jump and I don't have my leap strike to follow that up. Don't waste that cooldown on a whim, even though it gets pretty darn low when you rank it up. This shouldn't be too hard to master, guys, since it's pretty darn easy, but if you're having trouble doing so, try and get into the right mindset of thinking, if I can walk up to the target, I will, and I will not use any abilities except my W to do damage until they're out of my reach, and then I'll use my Q and my E to catch up again. And when you get to the point of thinking in that way, like I said, shouldn't take too much time, that is when you will be able to score the kills even though they have flash or anything other annoying up. Here we're gonna take a look at a well-executed gank on mid where Kog'Maw is facing off Cassiopeia, and I'm also gonna share some thoughts on my W here, what I think about it. So I announced that I'm going in, I pop my E there when I know I'm in range, I jump in, I stun him, I hit one auto attack, and then I hit my W. So basically, you wanna make sure that you, after you land a perfect stun, hit one auto attack and then activate your W. Why? Because this will allow you to deal more damage and be more effective as a ganker than just activating your W on leap striking. Yes, you will deal some more damage when doing so on your leap strike, but if you manage to hit the W, you'll get one extra auto attack, which means that your ultimate is closer to proc, and you will also keep that red buff stacked on them. Overall more damage and overall more effectiveness. Here we've just done a successful counter gank on the other Jax. He wasn't an angler Jax, and that is why he lost. Outskinned. Oh my god. This Malphite is gonna stay foolishly though. I have my red buff, I'm just gonna stack my passive here on the turret, and he's gonna be in range of the minions. I'm just gonna activate my E there, stunning him, doing some leap strike damage, flashing out just to make sure that I don't get picked off by that ignite. Let's talk a little bit about counter jungling, guys, or as I like to call it, oh my god, I have no buffs left to level up on! Yeah, so here I announce that Jax is right in there. We're gonna try and sandwich him. My team comes in, and indeed I managed to catch him, activating my E and my Q there just to make sure I'm in range. Activating my ultimate way too late though. That should be activated first, like when you start engaging and blowing your abilities. He gets out with a flash, although look at his HP there. He was very low, and this is a good time since my bot lane is quite pushed, my mid is quite pushed, and Leona's gonna help me out and support me. This is a good time to steal their blue. Just grab that buff if you can, leave a minion. It's really demoralizing for the other team in so many ways. Now the pro players knows exactly when to do this and how to do it efficiently and making sure that they can get out. But yeah, I'm not a pro jungler, but sometimes it's obvious, like for instance when the jungler goes back. In this little clip, which I believe is from my full Jax commentary that I uploaded a couple of days ago, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fail my combo again. I'm activating my Ether, but the minions here blocks me off, so I can't get to him in time and he flashes away. Even though a waste of flash is nice, that should have definitely been a stun. So take the minions into consideration when ganking. Always. Remember guys, you can use your leap strike in so many ways. You can jump on wards, allies, minions, everything basically. And you can also use this defensively. Here I'm apparently holding off mid lane against Vlad. He is, you know, temptingly low there, and that's why I'm staying so far pushed in lane. Here comes Skarner. I'm gonna jump on him, flash away, use my Ether, and stun him when he gets close, and thus getting away. Remember, Q is excellent for getting away. With his full set of abilities, Jax can actually pull off some surprising burst. And here Skarner's gonna catch me getting my Wraith. I'm extremely low. I'm gonna curl back to my turret, and then I'm gonna use my leap strike, my auto attack, and my W, and just manage to kill him with my red buff. So a lot of people underestimate the burst. Try and use that to your advantage. Here we see a little team fight. I'm gonna arrive late here, I believe. Remember, your Q and your flash in combination can cover great distances. I'm gonna leap on that comma, take him down, and then focus down the cannon. Now, I'm waiting for my cooldowns, just pummeling along until then, and then we keep chasing Zone. I'm gonna flash and Q her and get my red buff onto her, and she will fall as well. But honestly guys, one of the best reasons to love Jax is due to the fact that if you get him fed enough, he can take on an entire team. Yes, and you love when that happens. This is not the entire team, but there's a couple of them there. I'm trying out a weird build here. I think I rushed the Witch's End or something, or maybe Ginzu's. Either way, 3 squishes in there, Sona gets a beautiful whirling in, so I'm just gonna go in there, use my stun, and use my red buff to just pummel down Sona immediately. Look at the Q, look at the cooldown on that Q rather. Look, I'm just gonna leap out of that combo, goodbye sir, and then I'm gonna use my little board here to spot how it looks from the other side. Looks all good. I'm gonna jump in there, put some damage onto Kennen there, and then getting a stun, and let's just kill Nasus for the sake of it. Why shouldn't we, right? So that's an unofficial quadra right there. Awesome stuff. You gotta love Jax, guys, especially Angler Jax. Jaximus is okay, but Angler Jax, come on. So yeah, that is all I've got to you today guys for this guide to Jax. If you enjoy this and want to see more of my content, feel free to hit that like button. And also, feel free to add this to your favorites since it really helps me to keep on going. Of course, if you do like the content and don't want to miss anything in the future, you just hit that subscribe button right there. And remember to comment about what build you enjoy playing on Jax. I read and try to respond to all of the comments. Ooh, and also one more thing guys, my friend list is starting to get quite full. I'm probably gonna have to remove some of you soon because, yeah, I need my friend list for other reasons. But I really want to keep in touch with you, all of you, and everyone who messaged me is just awesome. So what I've done is I've created a chat room, which you can just click over here, and you can click join or create chat room, type in Spazie there, and then it'll pop up. And you can always press the little cogwheel and press auto join on startup, so you don't have to open it manually every single time you get online. Now it'll probably be quite empty in the beginning because I've just created it, but let's cram it up with awesome YouTubers and have discussions about plenty and other things together. I will always be on there when I'm online. And even if you have me on your friend list guys, feel free to join that chat room and we can create a planting lovey community or something. I don't know. Jesus. That's all I've got. Planty says goodbye, don't you Planty? Oh yeah, you do. This has been Spazie guys, and I am out. What?